Hello. Hello, how are you?
Good, you?
Not too bad. Fine. Right here.
Grow enterprise.
Particular zoning and planning or?
Yeah, we got that. Market plan.
Boy, that fence looks nice.
Doesn't it? I tell you, it really, I wish it could have been 6 foot, but it really, it does look good.
You got, you got the gate and everything on it now?
They had, yeah, they have the gate, but it's not
Don't have the
operational.
operator
Yeah, not operational yet. But the fence isn't complete. They got a couple more posts put in. They had to reorder some because it was short. They were short on a couple posts, so,
yet. That happens, you know.
yeah.
More and more, I think. Orders coming up short or 3 months late. Maybe that way.
Is someone going to live there?
No, that's our office.
That's just gonna be offices.
Yeah, that's our main office. Yeah, the downstairs is more like a museum. It just had all fencing room stuff in it. And then the upstairs is like offices. Yeah. It was Brendan's office and then the administrative coordinator's her office. But since Brendan passed away, I guess it's like Katie.
Oh, I know Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
She and my daughter went to high school.
Yeah, I guess Katie's gonna take Brendan's office.
Where's Steve now?
Steven's still, he's coming back into the business. Once he retires, he told us after December he's retired. But he's gotta wait till December to get his pension.
Yeah,
He's in West Virginia. And he said once he retires in December, then he's gonna start working his way back into the business. So,
he's married to Gina.
yeah, Gina Rhodes does, you know. Yeah. Yeah, he was in there the other day talking. He comes in the evening sometimes, just to, you know, try to get his foot in the door, try to get things, you know.
Yeah, and best thing y'all could have done was get rid of that damn awful looking edge.
Oh, yeah,
That was awful. What an eyesore.
it was. Vince loved that stuff.
He did.
Oh, yeah, Vince loved that.
Oh,
Brendan, he had a hard time, Katie didn't want to cut it down. Brendan had a hard time getting her to cut it down. Because her daddy loved it. He finally talked her into getting it cut down.
well, my daddy talked her into it.
Yeah. Once all the little shrubs and plants go around that and mulch, it's really gonna look good.
It's amazing how neat and clean that looks with just the fence there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sign here, gonna do your sign.
What's that?
Sign here
Down there,
on Antietam Street.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Mark.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna have the black wrought iron coat and all that, just like the fences.
I don't know where everybody is.
Want to go home today. I'll drag it out as long as I can.
This won't be a long drive. Well, Vincent owned the old Fred, didn't he at one time own the old Fred Shaw plant out there at the corner of Park Lane?
We just sold that.
You know, there's people in there sandblasting all that brick and cleaning it up.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we just sold that probably back in September, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. Sold it to a guy named Dylan. Yeah. And owns a brewery over in Williamsport, and owns one in Frankfurt. I'm sorry, Kenny Signs, that's who's doing our sign.
Who?
Kenny Signs,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's who they got down here. Yeah, Kenny Signs.
Got it back. Back on, you're not sure.
Because I tend to forget it. At some point tomorrow, somebody's yelling at me.
Somebody says, damn, I'm trying to call you.
Approved by this board. And whether or not they're built it in accordance with the approvals, I don't know yet. I'll have to look as well.
Oh, I wouldn't make a move.
I was surprised that you all approved it myself.
I wasn't here, I wouldn't.
Fence of, 1,002, Oakdale. Final.
834 is the, 834 Potomac Avenue. Goes right back both sides of the property.
We got a photo report.
834 Potomac Avenue.
So then we got. We got there around pretty good.
Right across from where, Park Lane comes out of.
Okay. This is the building that they worked on really recently. To do a tear down building vision. It's like a building that they're going to do it. Short term, no sense spending money to the fire street wants to turn it there. Lease. Apparently not, but the code office said that it's occupied. Something that. But generally wait till about 25 of will have any link numbers to make it before dark disappears. Oh.
Yeah, anybody on Zoom?
I don't believe so.
Somebody looks like they're waiting for the.
And you hop back there, open it up for us.
What I'm happy to. That's all right. Thanks for the offer though.
Oh, yeah.
So I said something to. I don't know if she's got a picture or not, but I was getting that message to her. But I think she was getting it. But I don't know that.
I don't think they ever see this.
I'm not sure what's going on.
For the person who signed on, last numbers of their phone number 215, identify themselves, please.
That's Leslie.
Oh, hi, Leslie. Okay, we have somebody on Road Trust. Okay. Aries Investment Group. No. You're Mr. Rose. Right. Hello. Yes, you are. That's right. Hear that. It says spam risk. I shouldn't. I'm assuming that's. Why? Unless somebody was coming through the fire station. Not coming.
I'm gonna sit down there until 4:35.
We ready? All right. My name is Michael Gear, and Chair, I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Historic District Commission to order this 24th day of March 2022. There is a quorum present. The roster of the staff to the commission, the commission members, and the technical folks that they fill in accordance with the requirements of Hagerstown zoning ordinance are on file with the city of Hagerstown, are available on request of the applicant, hereby made a part of the legal record of each and every application for today. All decisions rendered are based on the Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines as adopted by the city of Hagerstown. Each decision is made on a case-by-case basis and is not intended to be precedent setting. If you have any cell phones or other electronic devices, please make sure that they have been silenced. And please note that we are also being recorded on 2 live during this meeting. There are 2 types of cases, actually. There's one for the consent agenda. I'll ask anybody in our audience if they have any issues with those particular cases. If they do not, I will then ask the commission members if they have any issues with those particular consent agenda items. If there are no issues, we will then likely approve those particular cases and the applicants will be free to go. If anything get moved to design review, if your case is called, please come to the table and join the commission. For the record, please state your name and address. There would be a brief synopsis of your application from the staff consultant. Then the floor will be turned over to the applicant for any further elaboration on that particular case. After that, the floor will then be open for discussion by our commission members prior to any decision on that particular application. At this time, we do not have any minutes for approval. Therefore, moving right into consent agenda item HTC case Avenue for removal of a fire escape. I think if nobody in our audience is here to speak out against those particular cases. Commission members, any concern with these two consent agenda items?
Just a question. If the fire escape is removed and the building is occupied, does it have to have a fire escape there for egress if necessary?
My understanding is that it is to be occupied. The upper floors, not the entire building, the upper floors. If there is a fire escape, it's not occupied. So this is a building that has been workshopped with you all recently about potentially tearing down. I think they're planning a longer hall. And I guess they're going to do, my understanding is they're going to leave the upper floors vacant. And therefore not need the fire escape in short term. But if they want to occupy, they're going to have to come in with plans, showing how they're going to rebuild access up there. The fire, the code office is not going to allow those upper floors to be occupied without a fire escape. If they're going to replace it, you'll see plans.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the materials submitted in case numbers HPC 2022-13, PC 2022-14, and its associated staff report of recommendations, and I believe the projects in question. Staff report recommends approval of these applications as consistent with applicable standards adopted by this commission, and no one has appeared in this hearing with concerns about issues or objections to these applications. Therefore, I move that this commission adopt the staff evaluation recommendations in these cases as its own and certificates of appropriateness to the applicants for these subject cases.
Second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Those are all finished.
You may get your sign.
Next up on the agenda, we got the case reviews, the workshops, and their new business. We have opportunity for comment for the local conversion district overlay for 245 North Potomac Street. Commission public hearing, coming up for March 30th.
In your packet is some materials for a rezoning case that's currently pending for property within one of the historic districts. This is what's called a local conversion overlay zoning district. The purpose of the local conversion overlay is to allow more flexible and adaptive reuse of commercial buildings or mixed-use buildings that are in our residential zoning district, which of course strictly limits the types of uses other than residential done in those areas. To give you an example, the old Allegheny Electronics place up on Potomac Avenue, which is now Dr. Eklund's dental office. That was a retail store. It was a grandfather use. But it was built obviously as a commercial building. It's actually a partnership built. Dr. Eklund purchased the property and he did the local conversion district to allow his use of the site for medical offices to go in there and also plan to rehabilitate the site. So this is the first one that is going to be in a historic district. So since it's in a historic district, we're bringing to comment. It's not an application for approval, but it's going to go to the mayor and council. I think it's a planning commission yet.
Yeah, you
That's
mean for
the-
the public hearing, it's next week. But
Public
they've
hearing
reviewed it, yeah.
Next week. And the applicant basically is looking to continue with the same number of apartments that are in the building, but they want to be able to do retail in the area on the first floor front. The last use of that space was a photography studio. And my guess is over the years, a variety of uses have been in and out of that space that weren't whatever the original uses, the grandfather uses, limited to whatever that use was when the law changed. But with some of these nonconformities, they kind of fly under the radar, things kind of go in, go out, which may or may not have been the same use before. I don't know the exact history of this. But the fact is that retail is not at least the last use of this particular space. So they're asking for a local conversion district to allow basically continued use of the apartments that are in the building, converting what was Ms. Workman's photography studio, this last occupant, to retail space. And the planner who's handling that case, Megan Flake, is here to ask questions, who can answer any questions you may have. Also, the applicant is here as well. This is kind of just an informational, see if you want to comment on anything. We advise them to make a sort of presentation. It's really not necessary. You're not making any decisions here, other than whether or not you're going to make some sort of advisory comments to the planning commission and council. When we do these things, the staff looks for ways to encourage through the process, ways of fixing up properties and making them fit more within the area that surrounds them. On a case-by-case basis, some properties are very good shape, the use really doesn't change that much, and the staff has very little in the way of comments. Other properties, however, a lot of work was needed. In other words, for example, Dr. Eckman's property, staff had a large number of comments as far as parking, with building out, facilitated, windows, that kind of stuff. Human flag. The only thing that, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm misremembering, the only thing that we recommend here is given that that whole first floor storefront is really not historic in any way. The only thing that we recommend talk about are two things. One is that there's a single wide door, what was a double wide space, vinyl siding for sideways, kind of like it would be. And staff recommended the condition that be taken out and a new full glass double doors fit in with the way that originally was. When it was added, probably in 1960%. Get rid of that scab in with the vinyl siding. And then also we did talk a little bit about the possibility of doing some landscaping in front of the building, so you have that really wide concrete pavement essentially from the public sidewalk up to the very front of the building. But I don't remember if there was any specific thing on that. Maybe we come on.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else specific aside from what you mentioned.
Megan Flick is our comprehensive plan. She's the one who handles the reserve cases.
Accounting firm in the back end of the building.
There's still a surveyor in the back half.
There's no offices in the back.
That was Dr. John's office in there once upon a time. There was a dentist in there.
The back half hasn't been, it's been continually occupied that we know of. I mean, we've owned the building only for about a year and a half, but the back half's been occupied by Ways Supplies appraisals for almost 5 years now, 4 maybe. And that's usually not a problem. The front space that abuts, I mean, it's right on a very busy corner. That's the challenge. And the highest and best use is something that wants high traffic. Generally, office clients don't, and also have more, convenient options to choose from. Also, we just kind of agree completely with the planning staff and that the vinyl siding is ugly, and we want to return it to a nicer state, add some lighting, add some security features, but essentially just want to be able to rent it. We've been trying for over a year, and we've had plenty of interest in retail use, but not so much in straight office use.
Has there been any thought to reworking the other aluminum doors that are in front of that building? I think there are 3 there total.
We had, those are commercial tempered glass doors, so we've intended on them staying. I mean, just didn't seem to be a reason to rework those. One leads to a basement space, the other leads to the entryway, the front entryway to the apartment buildings
Okay.
up above. So they really need to be commercial grade doors. And our thought was certainly to have all 3 doors match, be more seamless.
And the rezoning application describes the use of 7 residential units and 2 office units. And what will end up here resulting in 7 residential units, 1 office unit, and 1 retail unit. So, planning commission has its hearing next weekend, or next Wednesday, excuse me. You want to, since it's in the historic district, do you comment on it, go back, do you formulate any comments that you have in some sort of memo. We can enter that into the record and just be done with it. If you do move forward, something where you want to comment in person on behalf of the commission as a whole, do that.
I think anything that can be done to get it in there is positive, but it's that something dedicated for your lifestyle. And obviously, any improvements that can be done on the front of the building would be an improvement to the property.
And because it's in the historic district, the signage would be subject to review and approved by this body and would be subject to the signage limitations in your design guidelines and design ordinance for the RO district. So the idea of this turning into like, say a liquor store on a dual highway or something with 7,000 signs all over, it's not going to happen.
Don't want to do that?
But I mean, based on what I'm looking at, it's obviously dramatic, be a dramatic improvement. I'm just curious, and this is not my place to spend other people's money, but I'm curious how it was built like that. Here, any consideration to making that more gonna be, I know that's structural stuff, and making it costly from all over that. Just curious how that ended up like that, I guess, is what I'm trying to figure out.
If I remember correctly, it was pulled on in the early 60s. We did some research on this. It's kind of a mystery building of those sorts. But that addition on the front, if I remember correctly, was put on somewhere around the Kennedy administration, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was not current or going to the 70s. But it's not that old either. It's not within the period of significance.
And why wouldn't they build it across, right, to make it? Curious. But, I mean, regardless, I mean, obviously this is.
Yeah, what we're looking at from the staff standpoint was how to make it fit in with its new architectural character. But trying to do the model, the first order, it's a high. Yeah, so at least, get rid of the obvious things like the scattered line of sight, this side. It's great, it's got commercial windows, commercial doors. Yeah.
It's got the potential for nice stuff. Yeah.
I said exactly what we were thinking. It was
I'm sorry.
architect thought it was a good looking addition in the late 60s or very early 70s.
It is.
It was a very short period of architecture that thought so.
I got a feeling somebody was more inclined to just add on space here. Yeah, they weren't really worried about the architectural aesthetics here.
It's funny though, it only added barely 1 unit. The second and third floor is barely added a full extra unit.
Yeah, and, I think this is the kind of stuff.
So you're saying this body is, going as a forward? I would not forward. I would say.
Yeah.
Or there's a
You
point.
want us to do, we'll do a memo for you under Mike's signature, just saying that it was presented to you all and that you generally support or support the need of that.
Generally support the rehabilitation of the unit.
You guys.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you. I may have misheard, but if the local conversion goes through with a retail space in a primarily office, residential, historic district, what criteria moving forward are we looking at it as far as interpreting our code? Just so we're clear.
Well,
Because we don't have a lot of, retail space in these in the north end.
Well, you gotta be a little bit careful because this body is not in any way, shape, or form regulated use. Okay, so if the rezoning goes into place, and well, it's not a rezoning, it's a zoning overlay, base zoning of our state. But if the overlay is put in place, then they can use that first floor front space for a store. Well, let's say the use in there, so I was put in a little convenience store. That's nothing that this body has any control over. What you will have control over is anything that's done to the building that affects change, any changes to the building, and that would include signage. And signage would be limited to what's permitted in the zoning ordinance, and also what is subject to your guidelines, your residential district guidelines for signage. So the signage could be pretty tightly regulated. But as far as regulating the use per se, you're never going to have a role in that, whether it's an antique store or a convenience store or a computer store. Store is a store, and it will be permitted by the zoning.
Okay, and one more question. So if we're going to look at it from a residential guideline, and let's say in their choice, because the retail choices are a large list, if the city requires additional exterior changes to meet code for a different kind of use, would that applicant have to come back before us, and what guidelines we then be looking at if under that circumstance?
Changes to the exterior of the building are subject to review and approval by this body. So that doesn't change at all. I don't anticipate, because we've had some meetings with our chief code officer and all, and we don't anticipate there's going to be anything that they're going to be told that they have to do with the outside of the building to get a use and occupancy permit. So we don't anticipate.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So this property is in the downtown district or is in the residential?
Problem.
Any other questions? So we need a formal motion to put the together first.
Yeah, probably.
Motion to put the memo together.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, motion to put a memo of support for the. Opposed? There.
Leslie, for or against or abstain? Leslie, how did you vote?
If you're asking me, I'm in the affirmative. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. One move. Next up on our agenda, any other new business? Hearing none, old business, preservation awards, consideration, anything further to add to our current list?
Yeah. It's a building here, actually the house right next to it, put it up for sale. I actually, the interior.
Coach, you need to speak up, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
So what address is that? Address, it's right next to 441.
To the left or to the right? So it'll probably be like 443. Which side of the street is it on?
It goes down.
439.
I can get that, but again, a lot of extensive work's gone on that for years.
That's the one with the weird,
It's got a terrace.
that's the one with the terrace.
It's got a wall and
We'll check our task list of awardees. That one may have not already been passed. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but if you don't want to do it, do it twice.
Sure.
So I'll Yes, that's a ball. A ball with a big fireplace.
Yeah, that used to be run. That's pretty unique space in there. Hopefully this guy will, but
Yeah, you know, and they completely remodeled. All right, well, the ones that we talked about at last meeting, the Christian Science, former Christian Science reading room now converted into apartments. Others Plaza, 603 Oakville Avenue, that's the road properties, that just that huge shed, hedges. The fence is now in, by the way.
So's the gate.
471 North Potomac for window repair and painting. 441 North Potomac. 202 South Prospect. City duplex on South Prospect. The front of the Fairchild building. Nice job.
Yeah, look good.
Does, I haven't seen it. That's gonna be great when they get it done. It's still kind of a work in progress. I'm thinking, I mean, you don't need to vote on all of this today, but we're trying until May. I'm guessing that they're probably not gonna do a ton of additional work for the next 2 to 4 weeks, so this one might be one to hold off until next year if we get more. All right, so we'll hold that off. Great. Molar building. And Ken Coffee's windows, assuming they go in, so pretty soon. I don't might have to hold off until 2023. How quickly they get done. I was gonna say, there's another that's not a good mention. So we got a pretty sizable batch to, I mean, you don't have to do anything, you don't want to do it, it's just, it's a certificate.
What about the house on Johnson Street, the Preservation Maryland Restored, is that a eligible one?
Sure, but you, they worked last year?
I don't
I
know.
don't think that's,
I don't think we did.
I don't think it's done.
that's been done, that's right.
and it is finished, right? I know they've had
It's,
some-
yeah, it's finished.
Out of the street,
Yeah, that's all, you know, it's nice. Even like the head of preservation ground, look like it all this weekend, you know, it's amazing. You think last year we struggled, almost a year now. We struggled coming out of the candidates. It's just amazing. What applications go on.
And the year before that was a bumper crop. Kind of almost like.
So that's,
I was hoping we were completely trending out. Generally, yes, but the year before last was kind of a bumper crop. Prior to that, it's more likely to strike the next job. So it kind of went like this. It's very encouraging. So, think of any others? We put the link out there.
we got one more month that we can consider for consideration.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, you don't have to vote on it today. We're just making a conversation. Typically, we spread this over 3 meetings anyway.
Everybody good with that list so far?
So we look into the exception of Fairchild Village and possibly kind of coffee thing when they get it done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is a longer problem. All right, we'll keep thinking about it. We'll pick conversation back up at the next meeting. The next meeting or the second meeting.
Are we finished with that part? Just for your information, the property at the corner of Burhans Boulevard in Pennsylvania, that old two-story building, they removed 4 of the second-story windows.
I rode by there after our last meeting and, given the circumstances of the other, I was holding off a little bit. Given the circumstances, but we'll be reaching out to them soon. Do you think it will remove, you think it was bad?
You know,
No, they removed,
because I was thinking the same thing.
they're gone.
3 years ago, I'm gonna say probably about 12 years ago now or so, somebody approached Mr. Crowe about running some sort of business, when it wasn't residential. And he cooperated with his potential tenant to get it rezoned. And then the tenant, for whatever reason, didn't initiate the full trigger. So, he had went from being a boarded up house, in the residential zoning district, to a boarded up house in the commercial zoning district. That makes sense. But there was there gonna be some sort of a tea room or craft shop or something? It was kind of artsy fartsy kind of use. And it just didn't materialize. Kind of a peculiar site because site is that access to that site is limited. But I think there is an access easement parking lot of adjacent shops. It's kind of really bad. As far as making it work for commercial use.
Any other old business?
I'd like to see a copy of HTC 2021-37 from the October 28th meeting where this body approved the fence for 1002 Little Avenue. And what's up there is a nice, beautiful white vinyl fence. I cannot believe that we approved that.
You all did. But you guys are all-
It's fine.
It is vinyl.
It's fine. It was approved as fine. It was where the hedges were just recently removed. And they're supposed to be replanted hedges along that.
You realize how long it's gonna take them to grow?
It's gonna take, a year or two for them to get up there. It's gonna take them a little bit of time, but that was something. The fact that it was a factory property, yes, it was against the alley. It was approved.
Is that one property in the corner? It's not one.
Yeah, it's a corner property.
It is a corner.
Well, yeah, it was a big side yard, then the problem.
Wasn't this the one that initially they wanted to send that back?
No, that
That's
was
one
one
block
out.
away as well. And it pulls over. Yeah. What it is like it would actually.
And they put patio, came back to the patio, which is patio in the deck area.
So
What's the one that's across from your platform?
There's some of it, there's one, I think, the pool being, one. Yeah, that's in the big block.
This one's corner Hamilton and Park. What's the one that runs along the north side of the park, which along the railroad track?
Forest.
Forest Prospect Avenue. Anyway, you were on top of that. We go up coming Avenue, you get that way front firehouse, and they left. Go across that open triangle intersection. That's that first house. on the left. They got approval for that. It's above
Oh, I
ground.
see, okay, the one Hamilton.
Yeah, they got approval for that pool, that above ground pool. And it's in. What it is, it's actually not. Use above ground pool.
Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Second. All right, good. Thanks, everyone. Next meeting will be April 14th. Friday, 1:30.